African savannah on safari, looking for... Mike, is that a lion stalking us? I'm not sure. Let's get the night vision goggles. I think it's something much scarier. It's a search term report, and someone has keywords with 150% ACOS. Oh no, they never added any negative keywords. Oh, and it looks like all their bids are just $3. No bid optimization? We're in trouble. We need to do something about this giant ACOS, but I don't know if we can do it alone. Oh no, it's the ad badger. Should we run? No, the ad badger can save us. He'll rip that high ACOS to shreds with bid optimization and negative keywords.
What's going on, Badger Nation? It's Mike and Brett from Ad Badger, and you're listening to the PPC Den Podcast, the world's first Amazon PPC advertising podcast, and your source for all of the tips, tricks, and optimization strategies you need to get the most from your Amazon ads.
You can find all of our episodes, show notes, and links at adbadger.com/podcast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome to episode number 26. Got an exciting episode for you. By the end of today's episode, you will be a little bit more comfortable with bulk file operations. If you've never even heard this word before, don't worry. We're going to start slow. This is your introduction to bulk files. As always, I am introduced by my co-host, Brett. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How's it going, everybody? The bulk file operations are something a lot of people don't know exist, and I think this episode will open a lot of eyeballs, and people will be like, that's what those are for.
Open your eyeballs towards looking at spreadsheets and open your earballs because you're listening to a podcast. I just have to assume that people click skip like 30-second fast forward twice over our intro, so people probably miss the first few bits of actual show. Again, we actually put a call out there. Does anyone want us to change our intro? Is it too long? No one said change the intro. We're keeping the intro.
Yeah. Then again, the only people who reached out are probably super fans. So
yes,
that may be a little biased, but
right.
We'll take it.
We'll take everyone else's silence as also an affirmative that yes, they like the intro. Moving right into bulk operations. We are here to dig in to Amazon advertising. So let's freaking do it. I would say, Brett, tell me if you agree. In general, people think that there are only two ways to optimize, maybe three ways to optimize campaigns. One, you either do it yourself using the default, like Seller Central, Amazon Marketing Services interface, the actual web interface. Two, they use a piece of software. Maybe it's Ad Badger or something else. Three, they give it over to an agency, and who the hell knows what they're going to end up doing. Not to say like they're going to do like whatever, but typically if you are handing over your ad campaigns to an agency, you may not know what actual tools or systems they actually have. So generally when an individual Amazon store thinks about optimizing their campaigns, it's really just those options. Bulk files are the other option. Bulk files, we're going to get into it, what it even means, what are we even talking about? We had a lot of hesitation actually. Should we even podcast about bulk files? Can you do an entire episode talking about a spreadsheet? And we're going for gold here. We're swinging for the fences. We're going to say, yes, you can have an episode about bulk files. You can have an episode about Excel spreadsheets because that's what we're here to do. So this podcast is going to serve as this introduction to this other way that you can actually optimize your campaigns that I would say maybe less than 1% of people actually do it. Brett, how often do you feel like people are using bulk files in their day-to-day Amazon optimization?
I think it's definitely more common with agencies, but in terms of individual sellers, not very much at all. I think most individual sellers have maybe seen this tab and haven't even bothered to click on it because they're like, I don't know what that does. Right. But I do think if there are any two Amazon advertising nerds out there, who could make a podcast episode out of bulk files? That's us. So let's do it.
We're taking on a challenge. So we're going to cover sort of the who, what, when, where, why, all the high level overview of bulk files. We're going to try to keep it surface level, not go too far into all the intricacies of bulk files, because it takes a lot of time. Once you start using these, we'll have another episode in the future, but once you start using these, you start to see a lot of like weird things pop up that if someone were to help tell you like, hey, avoid these weird things, it'll save you a whole bunch of time. So this episode is not going to be our complete guide on bulk files. It's going to be a nice introduction. So if you've never used them, or if you have used them and you just want to revisit some of the big foundational pieces, this episode is for you. Let's jump into it. So I think we should even start by what actually is a bulk operations file. What are we even talking about? Because I can picture the ads interface on Amazon inside Seller Central. I can picture pieces of software to optimize campaigns. And of course, I can picture communicating with an agency to manage ad campaigns. For anyone who just hasn't used this, Brett, what even is these bulk operation files that we're even talking about?
So these are just spreadsheets, just the fancy word for some spreadsheets. So it can, usually it's an XLS file, but basically it has a bunch of data about your accounts. All the different columns, have campaign name, places to put your bid, places for keyword targeting, places for bid placement. Any setting that you find in Seller Central or in AMS will be inside of a bulk file, but it's important to know that there are two sort of types of bulk files. So there's a template, and that one is great for creating new campaigns. And then there's a bulk file you can download for your account right now that's basically a history and all of the data in your account.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And the name bulk doesn't refer to the muscularity of the file. It just refers to the fact that if you upload an edited bulk file, it will make many changes, or it has the capabilities to make many changes all at once. Because if you think about it, when you go into Seller Central advertising campaigns or advertising marketing services, you go and you do these things. You're making just one change at a time. You're editing a campaign name. You're not inside AMS because there's certain campaigns that can't do that. So you are changing one bid. You are adding negative keywords. Maybe you're adding a couple at a time, but you're really doing like one action at a time. A bulk file allows you to work offline. So this means you're working offline. You can turn off your internet connection after you've downloaded the file. You can make thousands and hundreds of thousands of changes. Then you can turn your internet back on, upload it back. So you can make a lot of these changes.
You have a message there, Mike.
That's right. Thank you. I was like, should we edit this out? No. So you can make multiple changes offline and then upload those to Amazon. This is literally identical to, PPCers have been using spreadsheets to optimize campaigns for decades. Google AdWords actually developed their own offline editor called Google Ads Editor, where you actually download your account. You work in a piece of desktop software, you make a whole bunch of changes offline, then you can turn your internet back on. And if anyone's wondering why would you ever want to do that, I mean, Amazon's platform is pretty clunky. It takes you a while to get from where you want to go, and then you want to go back, you're opening up tabs. It could be a little clunky. So the attraction of using a bulk file is actually a way to move. You're only limited by how fast you are at Excel. And you can get pretty fast. You can find things, you can filter things, you can move things, you can run formulas, you can run spreadsheets, you can do a lot of stuff very quickly and then upload it and then make bulk changes. So that's what a bulk Excel operations file is.
Mm-hmm. What would normally take you maybe like 1,000 clicks to do on Seller Central, you could probably do it with like 50 clicks on, inside of a bulk file. So
right.
It's definitely useful to use if you have, pretty big account, but there are definitely some other popular ways to use bulk files. So
right.
We'll definitely hop into those and fill you guys in.
Right. So we have the three most popular ways to use bulk files. And I would say this goes from easy to more challenging. So first and foremost, let's say you have a situation where you are new to Amazon advertising. Or maybe you're not new. Maybe you've only created an auto campaign. so far. And now it's time you want to create several manual campaigns. Maybe it's one manual campaign and many ad groups. Maybe it's just several campaigns all at once, whatever it might be. Let's say you want to create 10 campaigns at once for your 10 ASINs, something like that, as an example. If you were to do that in the interface, you'd be clicking create campaign, give it a campaign name, give it a budget. Do you want to give it an end date? What is the bidding strategy? What's in the ad group? What is your target? You'd be taking all of these changes one by one. But it's funny because you already know the answers to this. You already know the campaigns you want to create, the budgets that you want to give everything. You already know all this. So that's when you can turn to bulk files. And essentially in a bulk file, you can list every single change. You could say, give me a new campaign. Here's my campaign name. One cell in the spreadsheet. Next cell, the next campaign. Next cell, the next campaign. So you can actually list all of these things out in a spreadsheet and then just upload it. Boom. Mm-hmm. You've just created 10 campaigns and in the matter of, 2 minutes as opposed to maybe 15 or 20 going one by one.
Yep.
So that's the first way to really start thinking about bulk files.
Mm-hmm. The second thing you can do with bulk files, which can be pretty convenient, but there's still a lot of manual work attached to it, is bid optimization. So you could actually go in and basically see every single bid for all of your keywords and even for auto campaigns for the individual ad groups. And you can go in and change bids right through there. It'd still be a huge pain to do this on a daily basis. But you could definitely, go in there and apply mass changes to all your bids. And that's a great use for bulk files as well.
Right. It's like, we have another episode on like what's the actual best way to optimize bids. I'm always probably going to prefer a software tool, something to update these things for me on a very regular basis, according to a smart algorithm. But there are times where, hey, maybe you have a very young account, maybe it doesn't have loads of data yet. Maybe you want to do a few weeks of manual bid optimization before you put it on a software platform. In a situation like that, I would dare say that if people have maybe 200 items, biddable items, keywords, ad groups, so on and so forth, that there's probably no way that if somebody even has just 200 items, that's a relatively small account, just 200 items, and they're doing it manually, I can't imagine that they're actually optimizing their bids on even a weekly basis, right? Bid optimization, to go in one by one, it's going to take a lot of time. And then when you're actually looking at the ad platform, you have to calculate a new bid too. This is what bulk files help alleviate. You can actually just run the formula in the spreadsheet and publish it.
Yeah, inside of Seller Central, all you can do, for bulk bid optimization is select. There's a little box you can check to select every keyword, and then you can apply suggested bid to all of them. But that's probably not something that you want to do, and that's definitely not in line with best practices for bid optimization. But bulk files definitely give you a way around that, assuming you're not using a software of some kind.
Right, for sure. The last way that you can get a lot of value out of bulk files is RPSB, Research, Peel, Stick, and Block. Again, if this is the first time you're hearing this acronym, definitely go back, check out some of our earlier episodes. Just go to adbadger.com and search for RPSB. We've got a great introduction for it. But Brett, break it down really quick. How you can even how does bulk files make RPSB a little bit easier?
Because you have, I would say the most convenient part of this is definitely creating the new manual campaigns. Again, guys, if you're confused about RPSB, it's definitely worth going back and honing up on that. But in the RPSB process, we basically, when it comes to bulk files, we can easily create new manual campaigns. Then we can easily take all of your converting search terms or all of your converting ASINs, throw those into the manual campaigns. And bulk files even actually let you add negative keywords too. So that's the kicker here. RPSB, if you don't have an automated way to do it, bulk files is definitely a good option, assuming you have a pretty good size account.
Right. So doing RPSB in a spreadsheet, I've always said this about data. It's if the data, you can get it in a list, you can use a spreadsheet to like do it faster. So like, let's say your campaigns were like mismanaged or something, and you had like 1,000 ASINs in a single auto ad group or something like that, and you needed to go split these out, do some RPSB. Like, it would be crazy to sort of do that with any kind of consistency. Doing it manually, like that would take a very long time to do. Whereas with, you can split those out, and you can look at search terms and see the things that converted and like bid on those, turn those into an exact match positive keywords in a new ad group, and then you can easy, simple copy paste, add as a negative exact to the source ad group. Like all of this, because it's in a spreadsheet, because these are just lists, that's what bulk files can help with. So pretty cool. There's the sort of the three popular ways that we thought of to use bulk files, and there's loads more sort of instances of how you want to use them. Definitely, would love to hear how other people are using bulk files on a day-to-day. So the thing I also want to make clear too, which we go back and forth too, I would say people typically start using bulk files when they're optimizing large accounts. Like if you wanted to add a negative keyword to 500 campaigns, you're looking at, and do it manually, you're looking at a world of pain. And that's when you sort of say, there's got to be a better way. Maybe I can use a tool. Maybe I can use a spreadsheet, and you can do it very quickly with a bulk file. But however, once you start to learn about bulk files, you sort of realize it's not just for large accounts. Brett, can you think of any way that even like a small-ish account can benefit from bulk files?
It really depends on, I would say, the number of SKUs that you have in the account. Again, it's kind of hard differentiating between large accounts and small accounts, especially with how many we see. But if you just have, I would say it's probably not worth using bulk files if you're a small account with, maybe 2 ASINs or something like that. But if you have one ASIN but a bunch of different SKUs, then it would definitely be a good idea to go in there and apply bid optimizations that way if you're not using a tool, or even to RPSB, like we said. Negative keywords, you could definitely apply. Maybe like a weird instance would be if you got hit with like some sort of trademark infringement and you had to like negative something.
Right.
maybe even for smaller accounts, using bulk files to go ahead and do that would be more efficient.
What about recreating your USA campaigns in Canada?
Yep.
You could, like, most people agonize over moving from one country to the next. Bulk file.
Yep, you can definitely do that. One thing to look out for if you do, copy, basically what we're saying, guys, you can download your bulk file from, for example, the US marketplace. You can remove the column that's called record ID, and then you can re-upload that same bulk file to, Amazon Canada or Amazon Mexico, Amazon UK, wherever it be. And your campaigns will actually copy right over to the other marketplaces. You will get a bunch of errors if you don't have all of the inventory available or all the SKUs currently live on those platforms. But that's definitely, something that's a really cool use case to consider.
Right. So last but not least, if you wanted to give bulk operations a try, you'll actually start to notice it now. So there is a section when you're clicking on your campaigns, you'll see bulk operations, and you click there, and then you just start playing around. This is exactly how we all learn about bulk operations. You just need to be curious and just think like, what do I want to do across multiple campaigns at once? What do I want to do across multiple keywords at once? What do I want to do across blank all at once? So once you start thinking of that, download the file, download the template, definitely spend loads of time reading the template. And what this is basically a document that Amazon puts out that lists all the things that you can change. You can change bids, and you can change the bidding strategy, whether it's fixed bids, up and down, or just down only. You can edit all those. You'll see all the options there. The thing to know is that there's some errors and some typos in the actual Amazon documentation, which is another argument for just testing. So try to do one thing when you're first starting. You don't have to create 50 campaigns, 500 ad groups, 4,000 negatives. You don't have to do all these things all at once right away. You can start small. Maybe you want to change the budget across the board. That's something you can do right away. Maybe you want to bid optimize just, one campaign at a time. That's something you can do. So yeah, be curious, play around. And that's, I think, our intro to bulk files.
Yep, I think so. And yeah, I definitely agree with Mike's sentiment there, guys. Just start small. Bulk operations, they tend to be a little bit wonky. You can definitely get tons of errors, tons of warning messages. And, after double checking and making sure that everything's perfect, you can still get, a lot of errors. So
for seemingly no reason.
Right. We did want to keep this an introduction episode. So, we'll dive in deeper another time, but just be aware that, even if you're the most calm, composed individual ever, it can really, feel some hate.
Brett went through 4 computers this week working on bulk files.
And 3 windows.
That's right. Just throwing it out the window. So that's bulk files. Let us know if you'd like to hear more about bulk files. But I think if it's about spreadsheets, Amazon advertising, I don't think you guys have a choice. You're going to get more of it because it is sort of a vital ingredient towards becoming a really proficient Amazon advertiser. And that is episode 26. Have a good one.
Take care, everyone.